Light. Bang, 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 and no strings till the Hank comes out. Make all the drunk girls scream and shout. We love it, we hate it, we're all just...
We got a little wash action going on here. Big thanks to the crew, my dad, mom, and Whitney right there. We got the car all cleaned up. Now we're gonna go ahead and take it back to the trailer and do a nut and bolt check on it, and then assess kind of what was bent in the race last night and get ready to go for tonight. See, I gotta have the camera for good luck. Yeah.
No, don't do that.
3, I'll take it.
All right.
Thank you. So we just pulled the 3 there. Pretty pumped about that. Did not want to start deep in that dash. I think it's about 10 laps or so, so we're gonna see what we can do. Let's go take a look at the track here. If we can just get to the front row, that's all that matters for that main. So the track does not look too bad right now. The center is pretty dry. There's a little bit of water up here where they kind of tilled it and they've kind of packed it in now. Fingers crossed tonight they don't water as much as they did last time, but if we can have a slick track for the main, that'd be perfect. So it's looking pretty good right now. I think we just give it a little bit more water a little bit later in the day and should have a good racetrack tonight. All right, so I'm here with my buddy Merrick.
Yep.
And they came all the way from Colorado. Some of the other guys that are with you came from Texas. That's a pretty far drive. What's your club like out there? Because it's pretty cool to be in my hometown, which is not hometown, but home North State up here in Marysville. You came all the way from here. What's it like back in Colorado racing?
All the tracks are like 100% dry slick. They're a lot slicker. They're pretty smooth. Our home track is. We're not really with big tracks too often. We have a quarter-mile I-76 speedway in Fort Morgan, Colorado. I'm about an hour away from that track.
Nice.
But it's definitely an experience. I've come to all the nationals this year. I've went to so many different tracks. It's a bunch of fun.
I could bet last night was definitely hooked up and rough compared to what you're saying, dry slick. Mm-hmm. And personally, I like dry slick more. Do you like dry slick or rough?
I mean, I don't mind the hooked up, but once it gets super rough,
not fun.
Not mine.
No way. Anyways, he came out here all the way from Colorado. You DNF'd last night due to a mechanical failure, but you've won a few races this year, right?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Nice, nice. So he's got a few wins under his belt. He won a regional or a national?
National.
A national in the sportsman division. So he's looking to redeem himself tonight. We pulled the 3. You're in the B main, right?
I'm in the heat races. I'm going through that.
Heat race. Good deal. All right, well, we'll look to see you on the track and good luck.
Good luck.
So here with the WSDCA Series Dwarf Car Association, which is kind of the Western states, which oversees all of the local clubs that all the way run from Southern Oregon, Washington, down south to Colorado, Texas, Nevada. All these clubs come together, and this is the Northwestern States Association, and they come run these national races. Well, at each of these races there's a tech. So I was going to show you, when I talk about going through tech and passing, this is what we go through. You can see this kind of top bar here. You have a pin there and a pin here, and you're allotted 73 inches plus or minus a ½ inch on the wheelbase. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 73 inches. And then you have this, which is a width. So your car has to be so far left to right that you have to be able to fit in this and under it. And then behind me is the scales per usual. That's where you're gonna have your cross weights and your actual percentage of weight. So you gotta be a minimum of 1,000 pounds. We're definitely over 1,000 pounds, as you've seen in my other videos. But yeah, a little bit of tech here. And then I think once you win like the national, which would be Saturday night, they might go into a little more in depth in the motor and check all those other kind of components and whatnot. So that's a basic tech. You got to go through pre-tech and then post-tech after the race. So I like that. I like that we're keeping everyone honest here. Well, we did it. We did it. We won our first race, the Saturday night national here in Marysville. It's a little bit of redemption from the year prior, just, you know, some bad luck and leading so much of the preliminary night main event, and then this weekend on Friday, going from 10th all the way up to almost winning it, and then now that, I got to go buy a lottery ticket to tell you the truth. I don't know, the GoPro had to have died or whatnot, but the motor was cutting out the whole entire race at random spots on the front stretch, and so it would fall on its face, and I was pacing myself leading, and I think technically we led every single lap of the race, and then it got in my head, and I half spun trying to figure out what the hell's going on with the motor, and then caution came out, and that's where I said I need a lottery ticket. That reverted me back to the front because we didn't complete a lap, and so we did it. We won a national. I'm on cloud nine right now. I can't tell you how many times I've been just thinking about this moment and trying to do this for so many people. So many people deserve this win, and I just can't thank everyone enough on this car. Todd Thompson, I know he's going to be the most excited here. We have put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this motor, and granted, it was not running correctly this race. Every other time it has been an absolute bullet. Darren Taylor Construction, Coors Light, can't thank them enough for being on the car. Steve Schmidt with Big Valley Sanitation. Steve, I love going into your office and having those conversations. I always tell you I'm going to come back with that win. I'm going to bring you my first win trophy and show it to you. And I can finally do that now. Joe Gibson, Josh Lozoya, Crown Motors, and everybody else on the car who helps out. A big thank you to my parents and Whitney and everyone here. This is a great weekend. How's it going, everyone? We're in a whole different setting now compared to where you just last heard me in front of the race car after we had just won the race. And I figured there was no better way to do this but kind of to explain what was going on throughout the night. Now, the night was far from one of the easiest and smoothest nights that I've ever had, and it's kind of funny that we ended up winning on this night, but I figured I just didn't have time to vlog it while it was happening. We were rushing to get stuff done, and I wanted to kind of give you a quick little explanation of how the night went and what kind of things we struggled through. So to start out, when you're in the Fast Dash on Saturday night, you don't do anything until about 7 to 8 p.m. We did not hit the track until about 7 to 8 p.m. for hot laps, and then after hot laps, there was 2 other sessions, a B main, and then we were out for our Fast Dash. So during hot laps, my dash died, like we've kind of been seeing in the other clips, and you could even see in the other races on Friday that the gauges were dying and whatnot, but my power steering was fine. Well, this time the gauges died and the power steering died, and so we came out of hot laps. We hustled to get that fixed. There was kind of a loose connection we found, and then we thought we fixed it, and lining up for the Fast Dash, it died again. And so, a funny little story, my dad came over and was like, is it fixed or whatever after I drove over there? I'm like, no, it died again. Well, he hits it with his fist on the dash and the power comes back on, and I don't think the power cut out once the rest of the night. Maybe it did in the dash, I don't remember. But anyways, that was problem number 1 that we thought we fixed. Well, fast forward, now we're in the Fast Dash. We start 2 laps in. The old mount for the computer for the power steering, the electric steering that we have, the previous owner welded on a mount there. Well, that weld broke and the mount fell and the computer fell below my throttle pedal. So during the Fast Dash, I've got this thing just hanging up under my foot. I was trying to focus on driving the track because it was a little bit slick, so you had to be straight, but I was like, what is going on under my foot? So I was driving very sloppy in the dash, just trying to figure out what's going on. Is my throttle gonna hang? Is something broke? And we ultimately ended up winning it. I don't know how, but we did. So I thought that was kind of cool that, you know, even through struggling there, we ended up winning. But I'm like, man, we're just getting hit with stuff here. We need to catch a break. So we come back out of the Fast Dash. We won it. That's going to line us up pull for the main event. Still, at this point, we only have like 2 or 3 B mains before we go out for our main event. Well, there's no real easy way to mount this thing, and I'm going to make a video explaining and showing all this disaster on the car, but we put probably 20 zip ties, duct tape, all kinds of crap, just trying to get this box up out of my feet and on the base of the dash so it's sturdy and there's no loose connections or anything like that. But anyways, we struggled through that, and then we hustled to get out there for the main event. So we ended up making. We go out for the main event and everything's running good. All the stuff is working how it's supposed to. Well, I noticed a few laps into the main event, my car did something similar, kind of like up in Coos Bay and Southern Oregon Speedway. An FI code came on, which is usually fuel, air, something in that area related, where it'd go ba 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 ba, and it was very sporadic. It was on the stretches. But it finally happened enough to where I was starting to get in my head. I'm like, is this car gonna make it? Is the motor cutting out? Am I doing something? Is, you know, what's going on here? And so it did it one time and I missed my entry into 1 and 2. And that's where you'll see I half spun. And that's where the lottery ticket, the good luck, comes into play. I dropped back to 3rd or 4th, and I'm like, frick, now we got to make all that ground up. And I knew we could. I mean, I thought we had the speed for sure, but the caution came out. We got a Christmas gift, got reverted back to the front of the field under there that I did not put into the video. I actually stopped because the race receiver, they were saying something to me on it, and I thought they were saying go to the back, like the caution was for me. And what they were saying is go back to the front. Another thing that went wrong, my damn headphones for my race receiver started like glitching out. So now we've got 3 things that are just going south, and I'm leading my first, you know, national Saturday night. We're fast, we're pacing the field, and then ultimately there at the end, it just got worse and worse, and I'm like, what is going on? And that white flag came out and we solidified it with the checkered flag. I could not tell you how relieved I was after that point. We ended up right here, you'll see, going through tech. We passed tech. They checked our ECU to make sure we didn't have anything plugged into the ECU that was extra, and they also checked our gears to make sure we had all the gears in the race car. So after we passed that, we finally got our guitar, which I'm going to show you guys right now, and is probably the coolest trophy that I've ever won in my career. And it just means a lot to me because, like I said in the video, this win meant more than a win for me. It was a win for my whole team. Everybody on the car deserves this. And I figured I would make this video a little bit extra long, explaining all the trials and tribulations we went through on that individual night, because I didn't have time to vlog it. I was just hustling. I just had to get my car done and focus, because I knew we could do it if we could just get out there. So here she is. This is the first place guitar. You can see it's the theme of the WSDCA Nationals at Marysville. And it has first place sportsman division down there. Man, this is cool. I want to win more of these. I really want to run the full series next year, or the season for the WSDCA, and maybe pick up a championship. Like I kind of said there when I got out of the car, none of this could be possible or would have been possible without my great partners. Big Valley Sanitation, Steve Schmidt, he's been a huge supporter of mine, and I always told him, hey, I'm gonna win this thing, and I finally did it, and I got to prove it to him, and we went and showed him the guitar on Monday, and it was cool to finally bring that back home to him, as well as all my sponsors. I'm making my rounds bringing them to everyone, but Todd Thompson, Todd has given us a awesome motor all year long. Like I said, it has ran great all season except for that one instance on that main event. We'll look into it. I do not know why, but we'll get it resolved. Josh Lozoya, Joe Gibson, Darren Taylor Construction, and Coors Light and Crown Motors. I could not do it without all you guys. Crown Motors has been supporting me for so long. I mean, seriously, since I was like 6 or 7 years old. So Steve was very excited that I could bring that to him and show him at Crown Motors. Steve Roberts, a big thank you to you for being one of my longest supporters. And all my actual fans and supporters out there, all of you watching this video, none of this could be possible without you and your support. And especially a huge thank you to, last but not least, my parents and my girlfriend Whitney. They've gone to all the races this year. They've stuck by my side. They've always given me support. They've always been there, even through all the hard struggles. They're like, hey, we can do this. And to have them there for that moment, just to get out and hug my dad, I've been always looking forward to that, and to get it done is a very special feeling, and I'm glad it's on video. I'll always have that memory, and it's just pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to the next one. We're going up north to the pocket change race this weekend, see how we can fare up there. Last year, as you know, we went up there struggling with electrical issues. This year, I think we're gonna have that fixed. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. I'm looking forward to go up north to the pocket change race this weekend.